Welcome to Meet the Candidates 2023, a voter education program brought to you by the Shakopee Chamber of Commerce. My name is Tim Zunker, and I'm the president with the Shakopee Chamber and Visitors Bureau. Our hope is that these candidate interviews and profiles will help you, the voter, understand your choices when it comes to the 2023 special election for Shakopee City Council. We ask voters to arm themselves with the information necessary to make educated choices and to make casting your vote a priority. Please visit the Shakopee Chamber website at shakopee.org to find out more information about the upcoming election for Shakopee City Council. And now I'd like to introduce Jesse Lara, who is running for the City Council spot. Jesse, thank you for joining me today. Please tell me a little bit about yourself.
Thank you. Yes, thank you for having me. My name is Jesse Lara. My wife and I have been Shakopee residents for 16 years now. We have two kids, one who's an eager kindergartner, will be starting kindergarten here in the fall. We came to Shakopee after my wife accepted a position at the CAP agency here where she still works. And at that time moving here, the only thing I knew Shakopee for was Valley Fair. And I definitely learned through the years there's a lot more to this town than Valley Fair. When I'm not working, I do enjoy volunteering. I volunteer in the food shelf. I deliver meals for seniors, delivering Thanksgiving meals and various holiday programs that they have. So I find that very, very valuable.
Great. Thank you, Jesse. Well, let's get started with the questions. Why are you running for City Council?
Yes, thank you. I'm running for City Council to be able to provide future and current residents a reason to pride themselves to call Shakopee home. Our vast amenities of parks, trails, our entertainment options, I feel are vital to us. I want to offer a balanced view to the City Council, not defaulting to status quo. I want to keep a wide perspective on matters at hand and how that's going to overall affect our community. And lastly, I want to bridge the gap of no access, not being heard. I've had conversations with residents. I've had conversations with businesses, and a thing I'm picking up on is they don't know who to talk to at the city. They don't know who to address about certain things. So if that's directing a question or directing that to me, and then I'm helping facilitate sending them to the appropriate person, I want to do that for people. I want to encourage people to attend the commission meetings and the planning and all those meetings, because that's truly where, other avenues, but you're going to find that's where you're going to be heard. That's where citizens have opportunities to publicly speak about the issues that are happening. And I'll tell you, City Council really takes a look at those, because those are citizen recommendations, whether it's positive or negative, that we help aid the council in deciding.
Great. Thank you, Jesse. What skills and experience would you bring to the City Council?
So currently on the planning board and adjustments of appeals, I've really been enjoying that. It has provided such a unique insight in terms of how the city works, and the process that goes into what makes our city so great. It's allowed me to see how passionate our citizens can be. How busy or how important that matter is based on how full the gallery is. There's planning meetings where there's nobody in the gallery, and there's meetings where there's only standing room only. So that really shows how passionate our citizens can be. And again, I want to encourage people, go to those meetings, get your voice heard. That's going to be a good avenue for you.
Great. Thank you, Jesse. And what have you done in the past to positively impact the city of Shakopee?
Yes. So 3 things. By volunteering, you see the impact you can make on your community. It really makes you feel good to know what you've helping others. It's whether you're spending an hour, 2 hours, it doesn't matter. Just that little bit of time that you're giving really, really helps. Professionally, I worked here locally at the Firefly Credit Union, and what was unique about that is I got to learn. You're working with this in town, so you're learning about the residents. You're learning about their families, and I haven't worked there for it's been a few years, but to this day, I still run into people out and they remember me, I remember them, and it's just like I never left. So I find that that's really been impactful to have that connection. And then through the planning board, and the reason why is two matters come to mind. And the first one is when the Shakopee CDA came to the board and they presented a housing development for 15 homes. And that was one of the nights where our gallery was full of residents, and they had their concerns. Their concerns were the density of how many houses were going to go. They were concerned about the loss of natural habitat. And I also had my concerns when I heard it. I viewed the importance of the project, but I did agree. I agreed on the density of the project, but I also had a concern of if we're putting these homes in an existing neighborhood, I felt that they should at least someone have an aesthetic that matches where they're going to go. And so with those, I ended up making a motion to not send a positive recommendation to the city council. The rest of the commissioners also voted to also not send a positive recommendation. But what that did is it sent a message to Scott County CDA what ended up happening is they pulled the project back, so they didn't present to the city council. They took what we said to consideration and what the citizens said, and they did come back to us. And after they represented it, it was 10 or 5 less homes. So it reduced the density, it preserved the nature that the citizens were concerned about, and it preserved they increased the aesthetics of the homes. So I think that was a huge positive. The second one is there was an apartment complex going up in the Windermere development, and citizens came out. They voiced their concerns, and their main concern was the sheer size of it. And before that meeting, I have reviewed that packet, and I felt it was really large too. It blocked views. So at the end of all that, I again made a motion to not send a positive recommendation. Now, this one was a little bit different because it was a 3-3 split vote. But what ends up happening, if that happens, is it's a negative recommendation. And so the time when we voted on it and the time that it went to city council, the developer actually reduced the size of that apartment complex by 1 floor to make it a lot smaller. So they listened. And again, that's going to show the importance of voicing your concerns because they are taken into consideration.
Perfect. Thank you, Jesse. What is your opinion of tax increment financing and its use in bringing economic development projects to Shakopee?
I can't say I would not consider a TIF. I feel that they're a vital tool. They're a useful tool for the city to have. It would help bring affordable housing for seniors. It's going to provide an opportunity for redevelopment, renewal, and renovations of sites that pose challenges. Examples are down by the river or contaminated soil over by Southbridge. And most importantly, I feel they help provide job options, high-paying jobs, quality jobs for our area. So to say no, to never consider a TIF, I don't think that's realistic.
Perfect. Thank you, Jesse. Expanding on economic development, what role should the city of Shakopee have in attracting new businesses to Shakopee or helping existing businesses expand?
Yeah, I think we do a great job. We're on the right path for economic development. The city currently hosts 14 entrepreneurs that are exploring growth opportunities and identifying areas for the city. The entrepreneurs are also providing their input for the innovation hub that's going to go downtown. About that innovation hub, I'm thrilled to learn that Matt Lehman is in support of that, so that's excited to get behind. And I agree with the mayor. I agree that this project is going to help provide educational opportunities for our students and also provide guidance for our entrepreneurs to make their dreams become a reality. How we can help existing businesses expand is with ideas, to come up with ideas. And one thing I can think of is TAP 2022, an initiative hosted by the city to bring in tourists to our downtown area, the heart of our city. It's bringing in people in to patronize. Now, had that not something that we came up with, another city's going to come up with it, and all of a sudden, all that revenue, all that tax dollars, all that tourism, that's going somewhere else where we could have captured that. And I'm excited to hear that it's going to make a return, because these people are coming in, they're patronizing downtown, they're eating at our restaurants, they're staying at our hotels, they're making Shakopee an area that maybe they never considered before.
No, that's great. Actually, we'll touch on that, is that it's actually going to expand. So that's exciting news. There's going to be some new things touched on with it. So
Fantastic.
Very exciting. What do you see as the most important issues facing Shakopee, and what would you do to address them?
I want to use this question to talk about the recent news of the THC ordinance, the licensing. I'm 100% for adults doing their thing. You know, if it's legal, you do you. I'm 100% for businesses to also be able to sell products legally. You know, again, if it's legal, I want you to sell it. After reading that article in the Shakopee Valley News about the THC violations, I had some questions myself, questions that if I was on city council, I would have raised. So I reached out to the Shakopee Police Department and to get those questions answered. And so the questions that I had were, how were the business owners notified of that they were not in compliance? And I was told that they made a visit. They asked for the business owner and or the manager, and explained to them the moratorium is simply just an educational visit, but explaining what's going on. They left their business card, and then they also importantly sent a letter to the business. So again, there's that next point of contact. Two of the businesses, as we know, took down their product willingly, and the others were 2 weeks later, we're still found selling products that we asked them not to, or the city asked them not to. I see that adults should be able to do as they see fit, but it's hard for me to get behind businesses that are not acting lawfully. And so I'm glad to see that there are businesses starting to get granted their THC licensing, but it's hard to be empathetic for non-law abiding businesses. I think there's some room for improvement there.
Great. Thank you, Jesse. And in your opinion, should city taxes be reduced? And if so, how should spending be reduced to balance the budget?
Yes, I do feel city taxes should be reduced. How I want to build on that answer is I want to continue on the conversation that Delaney had in his interview, and how I shared the same view of we need to find a way to take that burden off of the citizens of Shakopee, because with the statistic of most of the crimes being committed from people that are outside Shakopee, they're coming into our town to take advantage of the amenities and the entertainment options. I want to find a way to reduce that burden on our taxpayers, and whether it's whoever we need to talk to, state level, wherever, county level, I think that's something that can be explored to help reduce that burden. I want to be a good steward of the taxpayers' dollars. I feel that we need to be a good fiduciary to our citizens. But now that I have said that, I know it's easy to say I want to lower taxes, and I do. But one thing I think is key is awareness. And I want people to know where their tax dollars are going. And here's a way to do that. So I want you to go, and I'll post this on my website, but I want you to you can go to the city website. Under finance, you can enter your property tax. You click on property tax receipt. You enter your taxable market rate of your home, which that's something that Scott County sets. And you're going to see a breakdown of your tax dollars on where they go within the city. And what I want you to ask yourself is, when you're looking this over, when we see reduction, if we can't find a way to reduce that burden on taxpayers through other methods, we need to look at ourselves as a city to see where our taxpayer dollars actually going, and we have to look at the city, not at what I mean. I get it. I'm a homeowner. I saw my property taxes increase, but what we're focusing on is that city portion, and that's what we can control. Look and see the breakdown of where your money's going, and ask yourself, what are you willing to let go? Because as a fiscally conservative count city already, it's going to be really tough. And after this recent snowstorm, I think others will agree, you can really enjoy those plowed streets. I think the Public Works did a fantastic job. I'm going to fully support funding make sure the Shakopee Police Department and our fire department have the resources and the tools that they need. And I just, take a good look at that and let's have a conversation based off of that.
Thank you, Jesse. That is all my questions. So I'd like to give you the opportunity to give your closing statement and message to the voters.
Sure. If elected, what I want you to know is I will give you honesty, balance, motivation, and commitment. So I hope you earn your vote. And you can visit Jesse Lara for Shakopee.com for further explanations of those bullet points.
Great. Thank you, Jesse. The views expressed in these interviews are those of the candidates, not those of the Chamber and Visitors Bureau. The Chamber is sponsoring these interviews as a service to the community and has gone to great lengths to ensure the objectivity. The Chamber does not endorse any candidate, but seeks to provide you, the citizens and voters of Shakopee, with the information you need to make an informed choice. The Shakopee Chamber and Visitors Bureau extends a sincere thank you to the candidates. Thank you again, Jesse. Okay. We appreciate your time and your service to our community by running for office. You're performing an important service to us all. Again, thank you for joining us for this edition of Meet the Candidates 2023. Thanks again, Jesse.
Thank you.